You are now entering Night Storm Nation.
All I have to say is this.
Child abuse.
If you are one of those people
Divorce.
that have been put down all of your life,
Infidelity.
beat up and trapped in a pit of woe,
Depression.
it is time for you to stand up with the Night Storm Nation, because we aren't going anywhere. I'm YG Nightstorm, the man not afraid to be transparent, as I help real people with real issues. And my co-host is my queen, my stunningly gorgeous wife.
Good morning, everyone. This is Toby George Nightstorm, the woman not afraid to tell the truth as she sees things as they really are. And this is Nightstorm Radio, radio gone real because we are you.
Now to all the Nightstorm Nation that's local in the ATL, please call in at 404-355-8699. And to the Nightstorm Nation listeners all over the country, call in at 1-866-923-2860. That's Love 860. Now what's on the topic for today, baby?
Well, YG, since you ask.
Yes.
Today we're going to be discussing how both the young and the more experienced person deal with adversity. But I also want to remind our listeners that we still have our contest going on. So hit us up on Nightstorm Radio on Facebook and at Nightstorm Radio on Twitter, because the search is on for our 2 lucky business owners to get out here and have their 5 minutes each to discuss their business.
Right.
So, they need to go to Nightstorm Nation, of course, and sign up to be a part on nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com, and sign up for our mailing list so they can be a part of Nightstorm Nation and be eligible for this contest. And we have one more contest, people. That's right. We're not just limiting you. It's going to be Valentine's Day next week. You got to show some love to that special someone.
It's in the air.
That's right. So
love is in the air.
At the end of the show, we got a little something that you might be interested in.
Yeah, now, sweetheart, we wasn't on the air last week because in the ATL, we were dealing with snow apocalypse. Okay, let's just be real. Snowpocalypse. Okay, let's be honest. But a lot of folks were dealing with some adversity. First, before the snowstorm hit, people were tripping over Beyonce and the Grammys. And then...
I don't see why.
I don't either, right? I mean, she was singing to her husband, okay? Now,
I recorded it. How many times we watched it?
And you made me watch it like 8 times?
I ain't got no problem with Beyonce. I'm trying to learn some dance moves.
You know something.
I need a chair. I need a chair.
We're going to keep that moving. We're going to keep that moving. And then we watched the Super Bowl, sweetheart. Bruno Mars did his thing.
Yes,
but folks got so upset. Well, some people got upset with the diversity with the Super Bowl commercials. I don't know what was going on.
What, with that Coke commercial?
Yeah, the Coke commercial and then the Cheerios commercial. And people were getting all upset about, but the serious thing, though, we dealing with this snow apocalypse.
Yes.
And folks were trapped in their cars for up to 24 hours.
The babies were stuck at school.
Yeah.
On the school buses. But they own it now. We got a nice little car. We are on it.
Yeah, we are. And, because the folks, our friends up north, the Nightstorm Nation listeners were like, man, y'all don't know how to handle a couple of inches of snow.
No.
Really, we get like 6 feet of snow and we still good. Y'all get a cup of ice and y'all shutting down the school.
Well, I didn't know what a snow chain was till I went to Utah. And they were like, let me show you how to put this on your tire. Who? Right.
But we got a letter from one of the Nightstorm Nation listeners, and it was dealing with this, and it's talking about our topic today on adversity, on dealing with some very serious issues.
Definitely.
So, sweetheart, can you roll with that Nightstorm letter, please?
Sure I can. Let me say it. It says, Dear Nightstorms, as a fellow Atlantan, last week was tough because of the snowstorm. I was one of those unfortunate people that had to sit in traffic for over 24 hours. I eventually ran out of gas and had to abandon my car. Like so many others, I was blessed to find refuge in a Waffle House. The place was packed with over 50 people huddled together with hardly any room to move around. We were sleeping on floors and tempers were flying, but this was not my adversity. The most troubling thing is when I called home to talk to my wife and a man answered the phone.
Uh-oh.
She quickly snatched the phone away from him and demanded to know and I demanded to know who he was. She told me that he was leaving me. Oh, hold on. Let me back this up. She was leaving me, and that our marriage of 8 years was over. I cried in front of all those strangers, and there was no way to get home because I was stranded.
Wow.
I am crushed over this because she is my everything. I'm feeling suicidal. Help.
Wow. See, now this is what we're talking about. These are those unfortunate events that happened while the snowstorm was going. And it's a good thing that we have an expert that's on with us today, but I want to introduce him right. So if you can cue our music, please, we can get this going. Yes. Now, Night Storm Nation, like I said, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We finna go. Our distinguished guest today has helped people across our country and across the nation struggling with life challenges. He has looked adversity in the face and did not blink. After experiencing massive personal pains himself, through focused actions and undeniable will to achieve greatness, he did just that. He conducts seminars worldwide. He has successfully helped thousands improve their relationships, health, and become the masters of their own lives. So, ladies and gentlemen of Night Storm Nation, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you the author of the incredible #1 best-selling book named Immediate Happiness, Mr. Anil Gupta. Yes.
Wow, that was the most amazing intro I have ever received. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, sir.
We call him the maestro of introductions around here, sir. Now you know why he's achieved such great honor.
Yeah, do it again.
Well, Anil, we definitely appreciate you being on Night Storm Radio because we know you have an incredibly busy schedule. But I know you heard some of the letter that we just talked about. And you, sir, you are no stranger to suffering and dealing with very, very bad things in life. So could you please tell us about, what ultimately led you with your own bout of adversity and suicide, sir?
Yeah, what happened was 5.5 years ago, I was on the verge of suicide. I'd lost everything. I'd lost my house, my car, my savings, the children's fund, everything. I was on the verge of suicide. I went to a Tony Robbins private event. He, brother-in-law invited me, and I was just in such a bad state. So Tony did an intervention on me. Tony Robbins' wife, and then Tony Robbins' brother-in-law did an intervention, and then my wife stepped in. And I couldn't see a way out, and I've never been in that sort of situation before. And this is what my wife said to me. She said, "Honey, I'm glad you lost it all." Wow. I know you love me, and I'm confused. Why would you say that? And this is what she said. "Honey, you can't sleep at night. You're a nervous wreck. I don't know if you're going to have a heart attack. Every time you leave the house, I don't know if you're coming back." Wow. And now, you don't have to worry about that stuff.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, you went through this stuff. I mean, because I did my fair amount of research on you, sir. You talked about how you was afraid to walk on the street because you were thinking maybe I might jump in front of a car, or I'm afraid to eat with a knife because I may, unfortunately stab myself. And someone who has gone through suicidal thoughts as well, and even tried suicidal attempts myself in the past, I find it fascinating how one can get in such a dark place. But you said your wife helped you pull yourself out of that. Is that correct, sir?
Absolutely. And then she said this. She said, "You made one big mistake." And I thought, here we go. She's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. She said, "Look, honey, you didn't lose it all. You still have me, you still have the kids." I'm getting emotional here. "And we'll sleep in the streets if we have to, but as long as we're with you."
Wow.
Wow. I'm tearful now. I've told this story many times. I'm just present to it.
And that is a beautiful thing for your wife to say. Now, most of us tend to focus on gaining wealth and material possessions, but when we lose those things, we're in danger of self-destruction. What would you say to folks dealing with the pain of losing everything and how they can bounce back?
Okay. the secret is this, is change your focus. I was focusing on what I'd lost, and I was not focusing on what I had left. And that's what the secret is. Focus on what you have. Focus on the gratefulness, the gratitude, the people that you love, the people that love you. Because inevitably what you focus on is what you get. So I focused on, I have a beautiful wife, I have beautiful kids. And then in that instant, I felt different because I was grateful. The quality of your life is dependent on the quality and quantity of the gratitude that you want and have.
Mm-hmm. And sir, and I know, like I said, I know you heard the letter earlier from our Nightstorm Nation listener. He is unfortunately dealing with a very painful situation of the loss of his marriage while he was trapped in the snow in the snowstorm here in Atlanta. His wife told him that she was leaving him, so now he's dealing with some very deep emotional pain. So is there any kind of words of encouragement you can give to our Nightstorm Nation listeners, sir?
And I empathize with the man. I completely understand how he may be feeling. But the question he has to ask himself, what does he have left? Mm-hmm. What's great about his life? What magical moment did he have with his wife? You know, because what we tend to do is focus on the bad instances and the bad memories. But if you focus on what he has left, and he's been given an opportunity to get a new life, you know, because if she's not happy with him, it's better that she tells him now rather than not tell him for another 2 or 3 years. So there's benefit in being told right now so that he can move on with his life and he can find a partner that he can be truly in love with and someone that loves him truly for who he is.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And also, you get into stuff like this in your wonderful book because I got to bring up your book, okay? We got to talk about it. It's called Immediate Happiness. So can you tell us a little bit about your book and some of the other things you talk about on how to help folks with their awareness of their issues and how to really move forward after reading your book, sir?
Sure. And, you know, I talk about immediate happiness, and immediate happiness is possible, and I'll tell you why. We live our lives in the past and in the future, but there is only the now. So if you can create a moment of happiness right now, in that moment, you will be happier. So, for example, do you remember the day you got married?
Yes.
Was it a happy day or a sad day?
Well, since my wife is sitting right here, it was the happiest day of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Only because I'm sitting here.
Just playing, baby, just playing. But of course, it was a fantastic moment. It was one of those moments. It was like a cathartic moment where everything changed, and I realized just how blessed I was.
And I was in tears. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel right now?
I still love my baby. She is the best thing that ever happened to me. You can tell I'm a smart man.
So, see, in that moment, you got present to the love that you had for her,
yes,
and the magical moment of that day and what it meant to you. So what you focus is what you get. So what I teach people is that number one, master discipline. If you master this one discipline, your life will completely change immediately. And that discipline, if I may share with you, is awareness. From awareness, you get clarity. From clarity, you get focus. From focus, you get action. From action, you get results. And ultimately, from results, we get success, happiness. But happiness is not what we're chasing. You know that, don't you? People think we're chasing happiness, but we're not. We're chasing something else.
Cool. Well, I know that my favorite quote from you was, knowledge is not power unless you implement it. If you want to defeat adversity, you must take immediate action, and it is a proven methodology, and you guarantee the results. And this is in your book also. Yeah,
I saw that quote too, Anil, when you said knowledge is not power unless you implement it. And I found that quote fascinating. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you mean by knowledge is not power until you implement it and take action, sir?
Okay, so for example, I know how to lose weight, but I do nothing about it. So having that knowledge is worthless to me. And in fact, it's more painful.
That's interesting. and it's interesting that you said that about weight also, because I was just telling my husband I started watching the whole season of The Biggest Loser. I love that show because it's inspirational and it makes you want to get up and do something. But I'm getting up and doing it in my mind. Yeah, I need to run. Yeah, I need to, eat better. But putting it into action is a totally different thing.
But let me help you right now. Okay, you have a leadership role. There are many people who follow you and admire you and respect you. Mm-hmm. Imagine that you were able to lose some weight and you inspired 100,000 other people to lose weight. Mm. You see, this is very important. If we focus on ourselves, it's never fulfilling. But this is the thing I learned with my wife when she said, "Honey, what do you love to do?" And I said, "You know what I love to do? I love to help people." She says, "Just go ahead and do that." And as soon as I did that, my life changed because I started serving. So if you were to inspire 100,000 other people to lose weight, can you imagine the impact that they would have on their families and their relatives and their friends? Mm-hmm. It would be a movement.
Now that's so to take the focus off of yourself and think of it as on a bigger picture of, I'm not doing this for me, I'm doing this to help others.
Absolutely. And that's what the power is. That's what the gift in you is, the fact that you want to help so many people.
Well, can I offer this? I want to say that my sweetheart, Anil, is so spectacularly beautiful. Oh, that is her only aesthetic, that she wants to lose weight, and she's beautiful. But if that's what she want to do, I'm going to back her up 100%. But I want you to tell the folks where they can get in contact with you, because we're running out of time. So can you give the folks your website and also more information on how they can contact you, sir?
Okay, my website is immediatehappiness.com. And I have a special gift for all of your listeners. They will have a free ebook. My book, immediatehappiness.com, is available on Amazon, but we will send them a free PDF version of that book if they go to immediatehappiness.com/book.
Okay. Hey, guys, look at Night Storm Radio. You got a free gift of an ebook.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. It's a good one, too. All right, now I got one more comment about you, sir, because I got me a favorite quote as well. You went to Africa. You were saying if you went to Africa, they would ask you, how do you use the bathroom in such clean water, that they would give anything to drink the water that we waste. I think that is an excellent example of perspective and awareness on just how good that a lot of us have it, and we just don't realize it, sir.
Really, that's the case. I was in Atlanta last weekend, and I was stuck at the airport. But it was a magical moment for me because I realized how grateful I could be in that moment. I asked myself, what can I be grateful for? Say, there were many things. I didn't complain. I sat, I read, I made some notes. I just relaxed. So I thought, this is so powerful. It's not what you see. It's not what you think. It's who you're being. If you start being kinder, gentler, more caring, more grateful, more aware, your life will change.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, sir. Mr. Anil Gupta has blessed the Night Storm Nation.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. You are a real hero. Thank you. God bless you, sir. And continued success with your book, Immediate Happiness. And Night Storm Nation will be back on the other side of the break with more interesting stuff to talk about with another great author. See you on the other side of the break.
You ever been so depressed to where you want to hurt yourself because life has been unkind, unfair, and unforgivable? Folks done hurt you and thrown you away? Yeah, I know, because I was there too, until I read this book by NYGHTSTORM called All Action No Talk. This dude has been there, man. He understands us. He was homeless, abused as a child, abandoned by his dad, and even his oldest son passed away. I'm encouraged because if this dude can make it, so can I, and so can you. So check it out at nightstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM, and know that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity, like him, like me, like you.
Hey, you, guy or gal that's listening,
Are you enjoying the night storms? Good! If you want the 411 on me, YG Night Storm,
and me, Toby George Night Storm, aka Lady Night Storm, visit nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Check out our informative blogs, videos, and see what Night Storm Nation is doing to benefit the community. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks again for listening to the Night Storms on Night Storm Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon on Love 860 a.m. Atlanta's inspirational station. We are you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Lady Night Storm, and have I got news for you. Want to know how to keep up with us and what we're doing in the community? It's easy. Just like us on Facebook at Night Storm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Night Storm Radio and become part of the Night Storm Nation mailing list at nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM. Keep up with all our promotions, contests, and latest happenings. Night Storm Radio. We are you.
You are now rocking with the Night Storms on Atlanta's inspirational station, Love 860 AM WAEC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Night Storm Radio. Remember, you can call in at 404-355-8699 and also 1-866-923-2860. Night Storm Radio at Twitter and at Facebook. And join Night Storm Nation at nightstorm.com. NYGHTSTORM.com. You know, can't be perfect. I try. I'm like Mary Poppins.
But you are perfect, sweetheart, in your own particular way.
Almost every way, almost.
Okay, now we enjoyed Mr. Anil Gupta, but we got somebody else special. Cue that music, please. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh, now we play 5-Star Chick because this young lady is a 5-star chick. Now, Night Storm Nation, our distinguished second guest today hails from the heavenly city of Boca Raton, Florida. She is the author of the relationship book called Dating Over 50. Multiple media sources have branded her the relationship guru after appearing on Fox and Friends, The Sally Jesse Raphael Show, Good Day LA, and Good Morning Sacramento, just to name a few. This former beauty pageant winner, model, dancer, horse trainer, and real estate developer has proven that she is a jewel of many talents and maximizes success in diverse arenas. So, ladies and gentlemen of Night Storm Nation, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you the multifaceted Miss Victoria M. Howard. Yeah!
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Victoria? How you doing, ma'am?
I love this introduction. I've never been introduced this good.
You're on the roll. That's 2 for 2.
Hey, there you go. I love it. How you doing?
We're doing great, and you deserve that, ma'am. After doing all of our fair research on you, sister, people need to introduce you like that everywhere you go.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Okay, now go ahead, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I try to help everybody, but, you know, it's tough out there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, we got a couple of questions for you, ma'am, and I want to know this. What was it like to be in Australia for 3 days with an Aboriginal tribe, and tell us about this spiritual fragrance you developed for men and women, ma'am? I'm curious.
Yeah, it was really unbelievable. I got divorced 15 years ago, and going through a lot of transitional changes. And somebody had mentioned about going to a journey in Australia with 50 people. There was an author that wrote a book, The Light Shall Set You Free, and it was a spiritual journey. And I was born Catholic and raised, I'm Christian Catholic. I didn't know what spiritual was. Make a long story short, I went to Australia, and when we were walking through the outback, there was a dying off tribe, and maybe 8 people left of the Aboriginals, and there was a translator, an American translator. And she said to me, she kept saying to me, I love your earrings. I mean, she lived out there and she didn't bathe. She lived with them. So these earrings were real funky. And I said, thank you. And, I was surprised she liked them. Walked a little bit further. She said, oh, I just love those earrings. So I took them off and gave them to her. And everybody in the group's going, why would you give them? I mean, they're like really nice costume earrings. This girl lives out here with these people. She doesn't wear makeup. She doesn't, why are you doing that? I said, they're only material. Well, she went and she told the chief in their language, and he told her for me to take off my sunglasses, which I did. And as we all hear, the windows are the eyes of the soul. Mm-hmm. And he looked in my eyes, and he said, she's a very old soul. We want her to stay with us for 3 days. So I was like freaked. I was a little scared at first. I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to stay out here? And they don't, there's no hotel. There's no bed. And I'm going to all my people that are in my group. I'm going, well, wait a second. I got to go back home and I got to get my toothbrush and my makeup. And they're going, no, Vicki, you don't need that out here. So I stayed there 3 days, and we didn't. The group left me, and I stayed there with them, with the head of the tribe, the women, and they're exactly what you see in the pictures, the old days. I mean, they don't wear any, they wear little fig leaf. Mm-hmm. That's all they wear, and the children are wonderful. They just they play and with each other. It's so peaceful and love, and they catch their own food, and the women, they paint. Paintings. In fact, I brought one home, a huge one, and they paint them and take them to town to sell them, But they are just, we couldn't do any verbal communication because I didn't understand their language. But we didn't have to. I got to tell you, I was never so peaceful. And so, because I'm into everything, as you just said. I've always been that way. I'm a mover and a groover, and I'm into a million things. I didn't want to leave that place for anything. I wanted to stay with them forever, but I had a teenage son. I had to come home. I just loved it. So when I came back 3 days later, I was inspired, and don't ask me how, because this was the year 2000, so that's 14 years ago. I mean, I didn't even know what the hell a chakra was. Chakras. Chakras are energy centers.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Well, I was inspired to invent a fragrance to help open the chakras for men and women, and I named them after angels. The men's name was Ariel. The woman's was Sariel, and I hired a scientist, and we developed this fragrance that opens our chakras, and it smelled really good. And I was speaking at the Whole Life seminar, and all of a sudden, Estee Lauder saw. And they flew me to New York, and they wanted to buy it from me, but they asked me how much I wanted, and I said, I have no idea. I mean, this was something just thrown on me. I had no idea what I should ask. Make a long story short, they told me to get somebody, a company that can sit there and figure out, a forecast, how many people are into spirituality, how much you can bring in. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and I went back 3 months later, and the head chemist said, that's funny, we're working on something like this right now. I said, excuse me? Mm-hmm. I said, yeah. So to make a long story short, they stole it from me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because I did what I was supposed to do, and it was just, and things happen for a reason in life. I was very frustrated because I put a lot of my money into this, but so much has happened to me, and I've been so blessed since then. And I remember the last thing that the Aboriginal chief said, translating to me, was there's something very, very big that I'm going to do in my life. And I said, well, what is it? What is it? And then the girl said, you'll know. So along the last 13 years, I've had so many things happen to me. I mean, really. But I've been kind of forced into being this relationship guru, and written 10 books, and they're all started. The first one now is sold in 15 countries. It was Why Women Love Bad Boys, and now I'm a baby boomer, so I'm coaching baby boomers, single baby boomers, mostly on dating, but the one that I'm really an advocate for is safe sex.
Oh, so tell me what the butterfly effect is, though. I'm kind of interested in that one.
What I mean, there's so many things. Well, again, like I said, things happen for a reason, and you think you have your life planned out, and you're not in control. the big man up there is in control.
Right.
And one day, I was in Vegas for my birthday, and somebody introduced me to this fella named Alan Friedman, a much older fella, and he kind of took me under his wing like a little daughter because he had no children. And he is the producer of the Kennedy 90 Days JFK, and the Emmy Award winner for Winnie the Pooh, and he did all the music. He's a genius, and him and I, he just loved what I do, and we invented this. It's called the butterfly movement, and what it does is people are men and women both, but mostly the women. Okay, something in our life is traumatic, and we're all born pure. We're all born happy. We're all born. We don't have prejudice and hate in us. Somewhere along the way, as we get older, whether it's by our parents or by other children or something, we start to lose self-esteem, and we get insecure, and we withdraw back into our cocoon, which is the mother's womb. And as we're in the cocoon, we can never be who we're really supposed to be. We can never be the best. So we have an 11-step program that we are educating people on, and it takes you from the cocoon into flying out to be the beautiful butterfly that you really were created to be. And it's awesome. It really is. It's really cool.
Wow. See, now that's good stuff. And I like the fact how you say, we're all born, and we're born without prejudice, and we're born, pretty much loving folks. So, and I want to ask you this, because when I was doing when we were doing our research on you, ma'am, we saw something that was so dramatic on your website, and you kind of hinted on it. And I know we're going to be going into a break soon, but before we go on the break, I want you to talk about what in the world is going on with baby boomers and STDs. I mean, what's going on out here, Vicki?
It's unbelievable. 80 million baby boomers in the United States, and out of that, 60% are single, which is about 50 million baby boomers, single baby boomers. And they're all doing free sex. Most of them are doing free sex because they feel like they don't have to be, they can't get pregnant, they're through menopause, the little blue pill. And 40% of all baby boomers have an STD.
Wow.
That's almost 1 out of 2 are walking around with something.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me make sure the NYGHTSTORM Nation heard you correctly. Did you just say 40% of baby boomers have an STD?
I know. That was like that Scooby-Doo.
I mean, you mean grandma and grandpa got some... wow, that is... I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Get more into that. That's interesting.
Yes, please elaborate on that.
Turn your radios up, people.
Woo!
Yeah, it's unbelievable that I mean, personally, I have a lot of friends that are single. I'm in my 50s. They're, widowed, divorced, whatever. And how this all came about is one of these, in my gynecologist, when I went for my yearly checkup, a lady was in there and she was devastated. And she was about 58 years old, and she had lost her husband, just started dating again, dated a man she met online, which, red flag, and she met this man, and obviously she had sex, and she fell in love, and right away, didn't wait, didn't take any precautions. Now she's walking around, she has HIV.
Oh.
And this is a grandma that's a 58-year-old woman that only was married to one man, and then she kept saying, well, I've only had sex with this one guy since my husband. It doesn't matter. People don't understand. It just takes one time.
Wow. And I'm just flabbergasted now. We have some top excuses of why baby boomers are single here, Victoria. And the number one thing is my husband of over 30 years left me for another man.
Oh, my gosh. I've heard things like this, though. Yes, I have. I'm sorry to hear that, but you got a nice man now, so there's a reason things happen, see?
I like Vicki. She's just so straight to the point.
Wow,
okay, now I got another one for you. Another top excuse why baby boomers are single. And I know you're familiar with a lot of these, but here it is. My wife left me for a younger man because my little blue pill does not work anymore. Now, what you got to say for folks, for guys dealing with this stuff, Vicki?
Well, I think it's mostly ego. And these men now, I mean, I'm dating men that are in their 50s or 60s or whatever, and they really want to be young. They want and younger women, and obviously the Viagra makes them feel young. Mm-hmm. So they go out there, and it's so shallow, because if that's what you're looking for, is just to have sex, you're going to end up a lonely old man or woman all by yourself. Probably with an STD,
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah, you really. I mean, you should. I want to find somebody, but I'm not going to settle. I'm going to be very cautious and take my time and find someone that loves you for what's inside you. First of all, don't jump into the fire right away with somebody like they do now, because women get very needy. When they hit 50, for some reason, they're insecure. They need that attention, so they settle, and then the men. Obviously, they go to the next one or another notch on their belt or whatever. And relationships are so hard out here, and it's very hard to find somebody. If you have somebody in your life, you're very blessed.
Right. And another top excuse is, my spouse passed away and they were irreplaceable.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. See, you have to kind of learn to forget the past and move on. You can never move on if you don't get out of the past, and I'm guilty as much as anybody with that. I mean, I still live in the past a lot of ways with my ex-husband, and try to compare people with him, and you can't do that. I mean, if you're looking, there's only one of a kind, whether he's good, bad, ugly, whatever. We're each individual, and you have to go on, and you have to find somebody out there again that's going to be compatible with you, and be friends first before you jump in the bed with them, be friends, and get to know who they are.
See, this is excellent advice. And I know we're coming up on a break, and we're going to get into your book on the other side of the break. But that's one thing that I want to say here is that I find it, ma'am, refreshing that someone with your experience and your expertise is actually speaking up, because so many times when you're dealing with, our more mature citizens, a lot of times we have this picture and image that they're perfect and nothing's wrong and they have the money together and everything's fine, because the senior citizens of our culture are the leaders, are the ones who present the examples. And I want to tell you that I honestly appreciate someone can say, look, just because we baby boomers, we don't know it all. We have issues too, like everybody else. And this is the things we need to do to fix it. So quickly, within about 30 seconds, can you tell us a little bit more about how you feel about that as far as being a baby boomer and just letting folk know the truth?
I think that as far as being a baby boomer, I think that, like I said, you have to go out there and as far as having sex, make sure. I have a saying. Our motto is, if you're going to play in the rain, you better wear a raincoat. Mm-hmm. and I tell them, when you meet somebody new and they're thinking about having sex, you say, come negative or go home, because get a test. Don't be ashamed to ask them for a test, because this is your health and your life. And the older you get, your resistance, your immune system gets run down. You can pick up things easier. I mean, there's gonorrhea, there's syphilis, there's herpes. That's the highest STD is herpes, walking around with herpes. It's just terrible. I mean, protect yourself. Have more respect for yourself.
Amen to that. So we are finna go to a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we gonna get into Victoria's book, and we gonna really start breaking some stuff down. So hang on with us at Night Storm Radio on Love 860 AM, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. See you on the other end of the break. To all event planners, are you worried that your next corporate get-together is going to be boring?
Then invite the Night Storms to speak at your next event and electrify your organization as we break down how to grow your business, fix broken relationships, and conquer life challenges.
So make your next event epic. Invite me and the Queen to rock the house with inspirational techniques designed to empower individuals and maximize their true potential.
And thanks for listening to Night Storm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational station.
We are you.
This is Toby George Nightstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nightstorm, and I'm known as the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And the truth I have to say to you is you should listen to Nightstorm Radio every Thursday from 11 to noon. And you should also like us on Facebook at Nightstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nightstorm Radio. And join the Nightstorm Nation mailing list on nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Nightstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. We are you.
This is YG Nightstorm. And why should you listen to Nightstorm Radio? Because we relate to you or someone you know with topics taken directly from our lives. Every time you tune in, you'll hear a discussion about real subjects that affect real life. Why? Because me and the Queen have been there. So join us right here every Thursday morning from 11 to noon on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Nightstorm Radio. We are you.
Hello, Nightstorm Nation. This is Toby George Nightstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nightstorm, and I have a question for you. How much are you spending each day on lunch? $6, $7, $10 even? Do you know that for less than what you spend each week on lunch, you can advertise your business or service right here during the show on Nightstorm Radio? Why don't you inbox us on Facebook, send us a message on Twitter, or drop us a line at nightstorm.com. Let us show you how you can get your business or service out in front of the people. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Nightstorm Radio, 404-355-8699 in Atlanta and 866-923-2860 internationally. We're all over. All right. Now, you know you can hit us up at nightstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM.com, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter at Nightstorm Radio. And we've talked about the conflict and challenges for women 40 and over. Now, let's talk to Miss Victoria more about your website. Victoria, could you please tell us more about your book, Dating Over 50?
Sure, I'd love to. It's a very easy reading dating guide. I call it a Bible for the dating people. It's just you sit there, put it by your bed, pick it up when you meet somebody and go through it. It's a very easy, like you could see if you're meeting somebody and you want to figure out, is he a keeper? Or is he be kicked to the curb? And that's something else I had, is a kick him to the curb dating game. And it's just, instead of, we're getting older, instead of wasting time, I'm not saying, try everybody out. But also don't waste your time on the wrong person. If they're putting you down, if they're, belittling you, and if they're just, you could tell they're not for you, don't waste your time. Don't settle. In the book, it tells you what to look for, the red flags, the signs. It tells you when you lose a husband or a wife, how to get back out there and to enjoy it. Don't go into it thinking this is going to be my next husband, this is going to be my next wife. Go and just look to be a friend, make friends. And the book is really a great little guide, handbook for all of the people that are baby boomers and they are single.
Yes, and something, also on your wonderful website, babyboomerdatingguru.net, okay? I want to say I was intrigued by a lot of the stuff on here, and let me bring up one of the awesome things that I saw on your website. I saw a letter that was written to you, ma'am, by a young lady, and you had a lot of folks who write to you and you respond to them. But I want to share with the Nightstorm Nation this particular letter, and I want you to get in on this. So so it says, Dear Victoria, I'm writing to you about my grandmother, who is a 50-year-old good-looking divorcee. Ever since my grandpa left her 3 years ago for a girl younger than me, 19, my grandmother went off her rocket. She is a beautiful and youthful-looking woman who works out at the gym 3 days a week, but she has no confidence in herself anymore. She's a very unhappy and sad person. She hasn't dated, let alone even looked at a man since then, although she turns men's heads at 30 and older. When they ask her out, she immediately refuses, saying she's not ready. I want to see her be happy again and find someone who will treat her with respect. But nobody in the family can seem to get her to loosen up and trust a man again. I love her so much, and I don't know how to help her. And this was a young lady named Deb. Do you remember that letter, ma'am?
Oh, there's so many letters every day. I get several like that because that's a very common thing, that women that lose their husband to a younger woman and lose the complete confidence in themselves, yes.
Yeah, okay. So basically, now I remember what you were saying a little bit earlier about this, okay? And folks, and like if I lost my queen, because this is my queen. We've been together for 14 years, raised 7 children together. We've gone through hell. Aww. We've gone through hell and back, okay? Aww, and she has loved me during my stupid period, as well as when I got common sense and make sure I let her have everything she wants, okay?
But the lovely thing about that is we both recognize that we have had and still do our stupid periods, but now we can go, you're in your stupid moment right now, as opposed to getting so upset about it. So
yeah, but what I wanted to allude to, Victoria, is that if I lost my queen, okay, this would be a very, very traumatic point in my life. Okay, it would be very, very difficult. And the fact that you said that no one can't replace the person that you lost, but you have to get back out there. And you have to try. And we are so tempted because we've lost someone so significant in our lives. We want to hurry up and jump back on that horse and try to find another soulmate. Right. And that's where we are messing up at. And that's why a lot of the, folks that's baby boomers are with STDs now because he's jumping in too quickly. Am I on point with that, ma'am?
Absolutely. I mean, it's mostly, and it goes both ways. There's men, in fact, I found that a lot of men, they don't want to be alone, more so than a woman, believe it or not. And they've got to have, I don't know if it's just to have them care for them or, cook, whatever, that they immediately pick up another woman, whether or not they're, and then they try to compare them to their past wife or their past husband, which is a big, big no-no. Because you're not going to, whether it's, bad or good, you've got to forget that person. I mean, you always have them in your heart. But you're with somebody new now. So you've got to start fresh and make a life with them. And I always say being a best friend is a necessity. Like, it sounds like you two are best friends, and that is so important. Okay. Have things in common, be best friends. And then when the sex part comes, which is, when I was younger, I thought my grandmother having sex, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Come on. Now here I am, my son doesn't have any children yet, but I could be a grandmother. And I'm like, and sometimes men, Joey, my son's age, hit on me. And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm not a cougar, and what am I going to do with you? Hurt you? No, can't do it.
Okay, and that brings up another point that, because real quickly, I had a gentleman, and he kind of matched something that I saw in your website, and I saw this, and it said, I'm 55, never been married, and I can't find a woman my age who wants to have a kid. Okay, and when you have folks like that, ma'am, you got a 55-year-old dude. He done lived his life, did everything, but he done waited forever to get started. What can you say to these gentlemen?
You ain't gonna find no 55-year-old woman that want. First of all, more than likely, we done went through menopause, right, Victoria?
Yeah, we do. And so they're looking for a young woman to have a baby. That's what they're doing, these men. But they're the ones that are getting, okay, this is the second change in life. They're going through their own. I don't want to die alone. I want to have a kid to carry out my name or whatever. And I said, there's adoption. If you have somebody, there's so many babies out there that need adopted in good homes. So if a man is serious about getting married at that age, he doesn't have to pick a young girl. If he falls in love with a woman and she wants to have a baby, which I would never raise another one.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No. I can understand that. I love all our babies, but you know what, Victoria? I'm about to get in the car with you.
Me too. I can't wait for a grandkid so I can love it and spoil it and send it home.
That's right. See, now that's my philosophy because Toby keeps saying, when our kids start having grandchildren, they're going to be at the house. I'm like, we've raised 7, sweetheart.
I know.
And I'm not.
God bless you.
And I'm not in a hurry for us us that have grandchildren, but yeah, we gonna send them home
visits, quick. The visits. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Why they gotta come to the house, man?
See, this is what I'm talking about here. I would like to see them.
That's the mother in us, okay? We're the caretakers. We always have to take care of something.
I know, but Victoria,
he thinks because he got me puppies that's gonna work. So
I have one too.
Okay, now hold on, because I got to get my point out here, ladies.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna stand up for the fellas right now. Now we done raised our 7 children, and Victoria, she can't beat me up on the air, and you a witness. Okay, she can't jack me up like she normally do at home. But we done raised our kids, and when the grandchildren come, they can come and, like I said, they can stop by in the driveway for 5 minutes, say, hey, granddaddy, get back in the car and go on back with their parents. How about that one?
You know what? When you do have grandkids, I want you to call me and tell me, because you're probably going to be the one that wants them just as much as she does.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you will. You'll change, believe me.
It ain't real till it's real, Night Storm.
That's right. And you know what? I want to mention one more thing. We have we're having a baby boomer cruise. If anybody's interested in going at the end of September, and this is the first one ever, the first annual one. I'm so excited. It's baby boomers, anybody single, mostly single, but if you're married, and we have a cruise line going from Fort Lauderdale, and it's going 4 days out to the islands. Real reasonable. And it's all on our website. So if you guys want to get away for 4 days and you're near Florida, the end of September, the 25th to the 28th, it's going to be awesome. It's Royal Caribbean.
Well, speaking of that, all this love is in the air. And Victoria talking about the cruise, and we got Valentine's Day coming up. We have come to the segment of our show, ma'am, called the Love Shout-Outs. Okay, and in this particular segment, that we want to, all the Night Storm Nation members, they send us letters, Victoria, shouting out their cutie pies and they love us. So, we got Bryce. He sends love to his wife, Regina. Ain't that something?
And Emma and Teddy are celebrating their first anniversary today. They made it through the first year. Oh, my goodness.
Amen.
And she loves him very much.
Also, this is interesting, Victoria and Toby and Night Storm Nation. Joseph wants to send his wife, Mary, a Night Storm letter saying he loves her. He thank God for her.
Joseph and
Mary. We thank God for that.
Wow.
Very good.
The second coming. And Tabitha sends her love to her husband, Stephen.
So, Vicky, is there anybody special that you want to send a special love shout out to, ma'am?
Just to everybody out there, God bless and be happy. And don't forget, if you're going to play in the rain, you better wear a raincoat.
Amen to that. And so how can folks get in contact with you one more time, ma'am, your book and your website?
Sure. It's the book is called Dating Over 50. It's a dating guide for baby boomers. And my website is, and this is a tongue twister, so you can't say it 3 times in a row. It's Baby Boomer Dating Guru, GURU .net, N-E-T. So it's www.babyboomerdatingguru.net. And any questions, anything they want to write, any letters, I'm like the Dear Abby. Just send them in.
All right. That was some wonderful information. Victoria, thank you so much for being a guest on our show. You have enlightened us and while you entertained us, and we just really, really enjoyed that. But let's cue that music up one more time, because we got some love to give to our Night Storm Radio listeners. Next week is Valentine's Day week. And to show our love to our audience in the Night Storm Nation, we have some tickets to Alvin Ailey.
Yes.
How many of you love Alvin Ailey?
A lot.
We love Alvin Ailey.
Yes.
So the person or people, because we have 2 tickets to give away here, if you would like to see Alvin Ailey, hit us up at Facebook or Twitter at Night Storm Radio and tell us what you love about us. You know, we got all this love for you. What do you love about us? And the best love that's out there, where we feeling the most love and the most hugs out there, you're going to meet us at the Fox Theater in the atrium. We have your tickets to join us and watch the show at Alvin Ailey at Fox Theater.
And I would be remiss, and Victoria, I want you to be a witness to this. Are you still online, ma'am?
I am here. I'm listening and enjoying every minute.
Okay, so now I got Victoria listening because she knows what she talking about. I would be remiss, Nightstorm Nation, if I did not send my love to my queen, my woman, my wife for 14 years and the rest of my life. Thank you, baby, for loving me, even though I'm stupid at times, even though I make mistakes, even though I screw up and I don't recognize your authority. But I love you, baby.
See, and I'm going to hit that ball right back at you over there and say thank you so much for loving me. At times I get on your nerves and I tell you what to do and enforce my authority.
Yes.
You guys are wonderful. God bless you both.
You love me all through all of that, and say, all right, you better be glad I love you, but.
All right, so we thank Victoria Howard for being on the show tonight, today.
Today,
thank you very much. And what we got on? Who we got on for next week, sweetheart?
All right, well, next week our guest is a licensed psychologist, Dr. Audrey Sherman, and she's going to show you how to interrupt the dysfunction. And remember to hit us up, Nightstorm Radio on Facebook and on Twitter at Nightstorm Radio, and join Nightstorm Nation at NYGHTSTORM.com. You got it?
There you go. Nightstorm Nation, it's time to stand up and remember that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity. Thank you for listening to Nightstorm Radio today. God bless you for the rest of the week. God bless Victoria. God bless Mr. Anil Gupta for handling his thing with us today and spreading his love and awareness. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Thursday right here on Nightstorm Radio. Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Bye.